So, as you guys already know from the last video, I am back home from TwitchCon, and I kind of just wanted to talk about a few things to really kind of dive in a little bit. I'm also waiting for food at the moment because, I'm starving. Let me adjust the camera here for a second. But yeah, I am back from TwitchCon, and I have a lot of great things to talk about. Mainly, it was just a bunch of fun times with my friends, and that's the one thing I'm really happy for. But there are some things I did kind of want to dive into, which is a little bit different than what I normally talk about. And a lot of this stuff is probably going to be like, wow, he went for the easiest dunks in the world. And that's fine. You could say that, but you can't deny that it's, the stuff that I'm probably going to be talking about is very, you know, fucked up is the best way to put it. So like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Don't forget to check out, obviously, Gamer Subs. Use code Tyson for 10% off. And we're going to be talking about Gamer Subs here, too, a lot. Because the biggest things for me was going to a lot of meet and greets. And Gamer Subs security team was on point. And why that's an important thing to talk about, we will get to in just a moment. But cheers to Gamer Subs. Another fantastic TwitchCon weekend with them. So, but let's go ahead and dive in. I first want to talk about my personal experience before I get into any of the big stuff that was talked about. My personal experience for my TwitchCon week, I say week because I got there on that Monday the 13th, is that really, I had a lot of fun. I started out going to the USS Midway the day I flew in. I was hanging out with my buddy Corsair, who's going to be now one of my editors for the Tineko VT channel, which, by the way, if you don't know about Tineko VT, that's my VTuber persona that I love to play on just to kind of have fun because I very much love VTubers, and I figured I'd want to be a part of them in some case. But yeah, I just don't have the massive ambiguity that most VTubers have, which is fine. I think people should be safe. For me, I don't mind it myself, but I do applaud anybody who stays ambiguous because, well, people are crazy in this world, and we're gonna get to that here in a second too. But yeah, I went to hang out with Corsair, Ghostly Nate, a bunch of my friends. Ark, obviously, who's an editor on the channel, one of my best friends. He was there as well. And yeah, we just had a lot of fun on the USS Midway that day. I actually watched Chernobyl this weekend, or this last week, which was, if you don't know what Chernobyl is, I highly recommend you look it up. I'm still very stupid, and I probably get it wrong. But I had seen clips of the show, and I was very happy to watch it. Every time I go to TwitchCon, I watch a show that I just never watched before. Last year was Jack Reacher, and yeah, that was good. And I still gotta catch up on second season, but anyways, moving on. So I was very disappointed with, or not disappointed, I'm bouncing around. Let me get back to the schedule of what I did. Then the next day, which was Tuesday, we went to the San Diego Zoo, which was dope. Got to see a bunch of the stuff. I'm a big Komodo dragon guy. I love Komodo dragons, and I got a plushie of the Komodo dragon, which is over there. It's like right there. So I'm not going to reach for it at the moment. But yeah, it was an awesome plushie that my friend found, and I was like, I'm going to get that. So I bought it. So yeah, I was very happy about that. And then later that day, we were going to go to the Japanese Friendship Garden, but it started pouring down rain. So instead, me and my two buddies went to it seemed like a more Asian-centric district of San Diego, where we went to a bunch of different stores like Book Off, and we got a bunch of funny stories, which I'll be talking about those stories as well on the Tineko channel. We got a bunch of shorts coming out. But yeah, so I did that, and then after that, we went back to the hotel, watched more Chernobyl, and then we went on to the next day. For that Wednesday, we went to the San Diego Safari, which was a lot of fun. I never got to explore it fully last year, so being able to go this year was a lot more fun because we actually got to take our time and look at all the different stuff. The tour that we did around the actual safari area was so nice. It was a beautiful day. Light sprinkling at the beginning, but oh my god, it was gorgeous. Being able to just be out in the fresh open air and all the green around, it was blissful, and I had so much fun. And then we went me, Corsair, and Ghostly Nate went a little bit early back. Just so that we could go to a couple of museums that we wanted to go to. So we went to the San Diego Museum of Natural History, which unfortunately 2 of the floors were under construction because they were doing some remodeling. So we got in half off, but we only got to see half of the actual exhibits. But we did get to go to the downstairs area, where they live stream fossils that they find, and they actually kind of do research on them. So it's really cool. I actually found that very fascinating. I'm a big dinosaur guy as well, or Godzilla fan, obviously, as much as I love the Komodo dragons and their descendants. So yeah, being able to kind of see what they do was really, really cool. And then afterwards, we went to the Museum of Science in San Diego, which was right next door, basically. And that was really fun too. I had a blast there because there was just so much things. Like, you're never too old to like play with the little like things that they have there. It was really fun. I relatively enjoyed the Museum of Science. Um, so yeah, if you ever get the chance, I highly recommend that place. Like, it's expensive to get in, but it's honestly a lot of fun for what it's worth. And it is more kid centric, I will say that, but there are some things obviously as adults, there's enjoyable stuff in there. So I had a blast. It was great. And then we went home. We went back to the hotel because we had to get up early to go to Legoland. We went there. First time ever going to Legoland. But really, I was disappointed about Legoland because of the fact that over half of the park is just kids' rides. And I was like, okay, so we're just going to kind of go wherever and kind of look around. There was some really cool stuff. Like, they had like the cities built in Legos in like a certain area. And it was just so cool seeing like Las Vegas, New York City, so many cool stuff. Like, I was bewildered by it, and that was a treat. So went and did that, and then we went back to pick up my friend Kimmy, who had just gotten in, and then we went to go pick up our badges for TwitchCon the next day. Then we went out to dinner, obviously. Like, all the places that we went out to dinner were fantastic. And then it was TwitchCon, where I was playing Standing in Line Simulator because I really wanted to meet a bunch of VTubers who were really, really cool. Short list, obviously, of the ones that we got to see. Silvervale was awesome, being able to see her out in the wild. That was really cool. Lena Lazar, Rainho, Lord Athelstan, and Yanners, just all throughout the 3 days we were there was fun. It just sucked because, again, I mainly was standing in line. I think the next year I'm just going to go and hopefully meet everybody in the wild because I think that's a lot more fun. And also, big shout out to the VCard TCG community for Gamer Subs because they helped me do my master set. So I actually have my full-blown master set done of Awakened Worlds, which I am using a Cinder binder for now, but I'm going to be switching the binder as soon as I get a new one. But yes, I am completely and utterly done with my set. So big shout out to them. And also Lol Shinya, because Shinya's my dog. And also they gave, where is it? I got to get to the promo section. 1 second. Oh, I also got a bunch of these, which were really cool. But yeah, there was also promo cards. So there's this Velvet Concord that was a promo card there. The Nyanners and Yuzu also had some promos. So I was very happy about being able to complete that set. Now I only have one more thing in there, and that's to get the last puzzle piece. Once I get the last puzzle piece, I'll be good. But yeah, it was a lot of fun doing all the meet and greets and all that stuff, but I wish I would have had more time to go around to the other booths and see what everybody had, talk to a couple of the people, but I was just fanboying. I won't lie, I was fanboying out to a lot of people. Also got to see Doro again, Doro44. Big shout out to him. He didn't recognize me at first, but when we talked about the Genshin Impact meetup from last year at TwitchCon, he was like, "Oh yeah, I do remember you." So big shout out to Doro. If somehow you watch this, dog, you're the GOAT. Appreciate you. Your positivity is always great. And yeah, keep on doing your stuff. Now, outside of all 3 of those days, right, I want to talk about the dramas that kind of happened. And the reason why I want to talk about them is because it is serious stuff. And I want to reiterate some stuff from my community. Because, well, a lot of people that were, well, not a lot of people. I don't want to make it seem like I was like, oh, yeah, people recognize me. They all came out to see me. That's not the case. Many people did come up to me and they recognized me either from being Taineko VT or they recognized me as Tystra doing gacha content. And the one thing I want to reiterate to people, and this kind of goes into the Emperor situation, is that as community members of any community, whether it's you guys as a part of my community or, me in particular being like a community member in some of the VTubers I watch, we need to be respectful of the people we're going to meet and greet. And what do I mean by that? Well, realizing that you are not entitled to being like, you're not entitled to like hugs and kisses, man. Like, and I say that because it's like, if you don't know what happened with the Emery situation, there was a guy that pretty much got into the meet and greet area, whether he had, I haven't been able to confirm entirely if he had a meet and greet for another streamer or if the guy just walked past security, but he got in, he went through 3 other meet and greets, like cutting through to get to Emeru, and then tried to force himself onto Emeru by kissing her. Obviously trying to hold her. And there's a lot of things that are taken into account with this situation. One, last year, Emeru's bodyguard stopped somebody from doing something similar and grabbed his arm and took him to the police and was banned by Twitch. Banned from ever being a part of TwitchCon in any way, shape, or form. Not the guy who did it, but the guard of Emeru that kept her safe was banned because he was too aggressive. And I think that we need to take into account that if somebody is going to do something like that, there's no such thing as too aggressive unless he's literally killing him. Grabbing somebody aggressively by the arm to take them to police is not aggressive. Like, or too aggressive, I guess, is, for that matter, because it doesn't make sense to say not aggressive. But it's not too aggressive. The dude was trying to force himself onto Emeru, right? And you banned a personal bodyguard last year for being too aggressive for that. Now, that's one L from Twitch, because again, like, it just doesn't make any sense why you would do that. But the second L is that the TwitchCon staff did not stop the dude from this TwitchCon from getting to Emeru. They didn't stop him from cutting in 3 different meet and greets, which there are TwitchCon staff at each meet and greet. None of the security stopped him as he was approaching Emeru. They only stopped him after. Now, again, the security guard that stopped the dude was Emeru's current bodyguard that was allowed to be at TwitchCon. But it's the fact that TwitchCon staff or security did not stop this man. And he went through 3 different meet and greets. That's the worst part of it. The blatant nonchalantness about the Twitch staff just being like, oh, whatever, let him through. It doesn't matter. It's horrid, right? And not only that, but I feel so bad for Emeru because, like, not only are, like, was this happening, but people at, like, the TwitchCon staff were laughing about this. And this was confirmed from her manager. Like, people were laughing about her. Well, maybe not about her, just more being like, yeah, I was tired. I got hungover. This is not funny. This is not a funny thing. Like, you could say, like, oh, yeah, I was hungover, but this is not something that you find funny. Like, people's lives were in danger, or Emeru's life was in danger. And who knows, maybe this dude did have a knife because there's a lot of rumors saying that he had some sort of sharp object on him. We don't know. It's unconfirmed. But if he did, think of who else could have been hurt. And you're just laughing about the situation. This is not funny. This is not a funny situation to deal with. It's just sad. It's sad because I'm a big fan of TwitchCon, or I have been a fan of TwitchCon because I love going there and meeting the creators and having fun. But this TwitchCon was just riddled with horrible stuff. And I just want to say, as I was talking about earlier with GamerSupps, big shout out to GamerSupps for supplying some security to help out with some of the creators that felt unsafe with TwitchCon staff. Because GamerSupps security, on freaking point, dude. Those guys were awesome to deal with. They were respectful to the people coming up for the meet and greets, but they were also strict. They respected you as a person being there, but they didn't let shit fly. And I'll tell it to you like this. I'm very respectful when it comes to other creators. I love meeting other creators, getting their insights, talking to them. And sometimes, yeah, maybe I'll get a little parasocial and be like, yeah, I've talked to you a few times. And they're like, who are you? But I'm also very respectful. I ask if I can hug people, or I don't assume that they're wanting to hug, so I just leave it be. And sometimes they'll hug me, and I'm cool with that. Like, Lena was like, can I please have a hug? And I'm like, absolutely. You're fantastic. So I got to hug Lena Lazar. Wonderful human being, by the way. Probably the best meet and greet there, to be quite honest with you. Now, I stepped forward 1 step, barely over the line, and the security was on point. They were like, hey, man, just back up a little bit. You're a little over the line. Now, people could say that's excessive. It's not. It's exactly what they're supposed to do. So the TwitchCon staff was not it. The gamer sub security was on fucking point. So I don't know if any of the TwitchCon, or not TwitchCon, if any of the gamer sub security that was there will see this, but I applaud y'all. You were fantastic. You were fun to be around. You kept the energy up while also being that strict, like, authoritative figure that needed to be there. So kudos to y'all. You guys are fantastic. And hopefully TwitchCon next year, if there is a next year for TwitchCon, uses y'all instead of freaking whatever convention staff that they were using, because they were just horrible. There was, you know, people being like, again, with the face masks and stuff, I get it, because VTubers want to be, like, secretive, but you do have to take your face mask off. But if your face mask is clear, you shouldn't have to take your face mask off. You shouldn't have to. It's just to keep everybody safe and keep everybody, you know, secure. But the staff was just horrid. The TwitchCon staff was just horrible. And I could keep on saying it, but there's nothing else that I could say that could be different. Everyone knows that they were horrible and that they just dropped the ball. And not only that, but even after that, man, after that, they went ahead and threw away all the gifts for some of the VTubers that could not show up directly at the con. They didn't contact the managers that were there. They didn't contact any of the actual Twitch staff that dealt with the talent there. The TwitchCon staff just threw it away. All the customary stuff, like somebody did a custom cinema roll from the Sanrio people, and threw it away. That was Iron Mouse's thing. Like, Iron Mouse is known for, you know, the cinema roll, and they just threw that shit away. And I find that so disheartening. I find it so disheartening that they didn't even have the gumption to talk with the managers and be like, what is all this stuff? Whose meet and greet is this from? It's just annoying. So dumb. Two notes to kind of leave off on when it comes to that. Me and Corsair did see Dan Clancy on the last day, and he looked stressed. He looked absolutely stressed and sad, because that day was when Amazon stepped in and started sending in their own security team as well. So yeah, there was that. And I don't expect Dan Clancy to be CEO that much longer, especially with all that stuff, the Hassan Piker stuff that's been going on, which, again, horrible dude. The fact that they're defending him as much as they are is insane. I'm not going to go too far into it. I don't want to make this a whole thing, but just saying, like, Dan is probably not going to last too much longer as the CEO, unfortunately. And then the second thing that I wanted to bring up is that there were some good things that the TwitchCon staff did do, or Twitch did. Twitch did donate $100,000 towards the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is great. I find that really, really cool. That was awesome of them to do. Now, again, it's sullied by all the shit that happened with Emeru and all the others, but, you know, it's just sad. It's just sad. Leading on to that, I don't know if I'll be going to TwitchCon this next year. I'll probably know as I get closer to it, but I'm going to Japan this coming year, which is going to be great. And who knows what other stuff will happen too. I'm hoping that maybe I'll meet up with some other content creators, some other gacha creators. Who knows? Depending on how this next year goes, I want to build up and continue moving forward. So I hope to be that positive, but also realistic, standee in the gacha community, anime game community. We'll see. Especially with Duet Night Abyss, I plan to be playing that a lot more. I'm going to be very realistic with my expectations in regards to, like, Genshin, ZZZ, and Wuwa. Hype it when it is, not hype it when it's not, and be realistic, because I feel like having an actual opinion based on what I feel is more important than me being fake. And I'm not going to be fake to be happy about, you know, Genshin Impact or other games like that. Big shout out to the people who were saying I was a professional hater when I just gave my opinions on the Minilastra stupid UGC stuff and finding out all that stuff. I have plenty of opinions on that, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about when it came to TwitchCon. I'm glad that most people were safe, but Twitch has a lot of stuff to do. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. That's going to be it. Love you guys to death. And as always, we'll catch you in that next video. Please take care and be safe.